Hello. Yesterday, I was talking about why no one listens to your music. My hot take, my opinion. I've been playing for a while, I've been recording for a while, I've been in the entertainment industry for a while. The last few years has been on and off just because mental health stuff and financial stuff and job stuff and, all that kind of stuff. But in a nutshell, what I was talking about yesterday was basically, someone had told me recently that you should make the things when you're, trying to get your music out there or whatever your creative endeavor is. I think it's kind of known now for anybody watching this who is a creative or who is not a creative, that when you're in any sector of the entertainment industry, it's kind of, I think, a known fact now that you have to create content for the internet and put it out there to get the word out there, right? And this person told me you should create what you would want to see. I don't know if that applies everywhere. If you're, I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not even going to touch that subject because I don't even know. But in a nutshell, I agree. And the last few days I've been kind of experimenting with that. So, I've been saying in all these vlogs and all that I'm trying to figure out what works, what I'm trying to put out there, right? And this was before I had this advice. Then I got this advice, and I've been kind of realizing there's almost kind of a balance, and what's a good way to put it? You have to want to do it, and there also has to be a demand for it. And if you've ever taken any sort of business class or anything like that, you would know, people always say like, well, a successful business in a nutshell is based off of the market. So if you have a product or service, it will work if the market wants it. If there is a demand for it, and you can supply the service or product to fill that demand, it will be successful. So I feel like it's kind of the same thing in entertainment, although entertainment's just kind of always there. But with music, there's like different genres, right? So there's always different waves. Like, I'm kind of in the punk rock sector, which has a bunch of different sectors, right? There's like ska punk, there's punk rock, there's pop punk, there's like emo punk. I don't know. There's a bunch of different subgenres and stuff, and I kind of dabble in most of them. Some more than others, but coffee's still kicking in. It's fairly warm today, so no need to start a fire. The heat-powered fan is off because this baby's cool to the touch. I didn't know that prior to doing that. I was really taking a risk. No, if that fan's off, it's not hot. So, anyways, that balance of creating things, I think I found out by just kind of testing certain things. I was testing with these vlogs, and I was testing with the content I was like actually creating. So I'm just cleaning out all the ash, because sometimes when the fire is out, your house usually has a negative pressure, meaning air is it's more of a vacuum in your house than outside. So like any air leaks through your windows and under doors and stuff, like the air is trying to come in. If it's cold outside, it's cold. But when you have a wood burner or fireplace, it's just a big that's like a 6-inch pipe going straight outside, so that it's easiest for the air to come in here. And when it's full of ash, it just makes the house, I don't know, you can feel it. Like the fire went out overnight the other night because it was warm again. It's like 60 during the day, so the house was actually like 70 degrees. And you just wake up and you feel like you like smoked a cigarette, because I like forgot to, I was like, it's warm, so I didn't even think about it, about starting a fire or, anything like that. Look, there's still, can you see that? Yeah. Some of those coals are still glowing. You guys know, if you've been watching this for a while, I just kind of sift those coals out. I have a way to do that and just put them up here by the corner of the door and use that to get the fire going again. But there's usually a lot more than this. Anyways, so with the vlogs, I've been getting a lot of good feedback because my friend told me to do these raw vlogs like this, which is honestly, it's kind of great because it's been helping my brain just like get everything off my chest and everything I've been thinking about. And then after doing that for like 2 weeks, that same person and a few other people are just like, yo, your search engine optimization for your I'll explain this. Like, your search engine optimization is for your vlogs. It's not good. You need thumbnails. You're not even doing thumbnails. Your titles are not good. You're not putting tags in your video description and yada yada. And I'm like, guys, I know how to do that. If you look at my music videos, I always rank for keywords. I'm trying something else. Which I never would have thought of doing these vlogs like this, especially if you guys didn't give me your feedback and how you enjoy them. Once I realized I was getting consistent, like 20 to 30 views, and you guys were giving me your feedback saying, I like how you're doing this, and someone even told me, my wife and I sit down and watch your shit every night. That's cool. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my tripod. My arm's getting tired. I realized, and that's what I was talking about yesterday when I was saying, like, why no one's listening to your music. You're missing that connection with the people who actually enjoy your music, And for me, I realize it's probably the same thing with everyone, but people connect with you and your music because of you. And I didn't realize, I always thought, like, I talk too much, I'm so scatterbrained and this, that, and the other, that, like, no one wants to hear me just talk. But then I realized, once everybody was giving me their feedback and all that, like, I was like, oh, my entire life, like when I first started dating a girl or something, like every single one, it's just like we would talk on the phone. This was like before texting was really a thing. And they would never really talk much. And I was just like, I'm talking a lot. Like, she's going to think I suck, But every single time they were like, no, I just like listening to you talk. I thought they were just trying to be nice. You know what I mean? But I realized that's like really true. And now this is like how I can connect with people who like my art, and then it gets this off all the stuff off my chest, right? And so it's like good all around, right? It's like all these good things, but then I'm a musician, so it's a way for me to like get my music out there without like constantly bombarding Instagram and stuff with like ads, basically like non-paid ads, like, hey, here's a clip from my new music video, go check it out, it's the 10th time I'm saying this or whatever, right? So anyways, the last few vlogs and stuff, I've changed. I did my research and I was just like, okay, what can I talk about where I can still do these vlogs and talk about a subject that people are searching for that no one has made videos on yet? So the last few videos were like, why no one is listening to your music, how I'm marketing my music in 2025. So it kind of just gave me a topic to kind of talk about. that I wanted to talk about, and I could do it in this format. And I'm pretty much still getting the same amount of views, except for the one I posted yesterday about why no one is listening to your music. Now, maybe that was just a better topic, but that got about double the amount of views that I typically get within the first 24 hours. All the other ones I got about the same. So I'm going to just say, or just guess that that's probably a better topic. And then I did, like, I've been doing thumbnails, which I should probably do anyways. Like, someone suggested just putting a number there, which honestly, I feel like that goes back to the other person that said, like, make what you would want to see. So when I'm following someone and they have it, like, if it's a vlog or like I'll watch people build stuff on YouTube, and it'll be like, 10 video series of them building putting a motorcycle engine on a go-kart or something. That's like always my example. I watch other things than people putting motorcycle engines on go-karts. I've only watched like one of those, but I like it when they number it in the thumbnail and in the title. And I think they know that, and they're not really worried about their SEO, which, sorry, I said I was going to come back to that. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So different ways to do it, but in a nutshell, you basically just, you use an app or whatever to just kind of find what people on the internet are searching for. And then you can figure out if people, like, for example, I figured out that just minimal amount of research too. Like I've gotten pretty good at it, but I found that people were using the search term, why no one is listening to your music, a lot on YouTube and in Google. And I also saw that no one was making a video talking about that, or at least didn't have it in their like title, description, and tags. So that's why I did it, right? So when you make something like that, and if a bunch of people were searching it, but no one has videos for it, you're the only one that has. It's like having a monopoly on a keyword or on a search phrase, right? It's like going for the easy hanging fruit. So I think that pretty much sums up that part of it. So what I was talking about in the beginning, in yesterday's video, why no one's listening to your music, I was talking about how, assuming that you are a good musician, you can actually sing and all that stuff, I feel like people are trying to get their music out there by not having this type of connection with their people. I hate saying like fans or following or whatever, because like I've become like pretty good friends with most of you, or we have been friends for a long time. And to me, it's honestly like almost like a disconnect, because even though I'm like talking to you, my friends, there's no one here. Like, it's just my phone here. So it's, but like I said, it helps to get the stuff off my chest. But anyways, what I was almost talking about the business side of it, right? Where, in yesterday's video, why no one listens to your music. There's this like personal disconnect, and you can do that by doing a daily vlog, just talking about how your day went and these feelings and this, that, and the other. And that if you have something to create and any idea, you should just do it and put it out there, because then you can see what works. And they're like kind of people, I think, try too hard and just like, oh, I think people that would listen to my acoustic rock song would want to see me playing this on a mountain with snow falling in the background or whatever, just like a stereotypical thing. Maybe that worked. I don't know. But I was basically saying, like, make the things that you would want to see, because that's the whole point. We don't want to see, or I think, no one really wants to see the same kind of regurgitated stuff. You know what I mean? It's like stereotype with a pop punk or skate punk music video is it being at a skate park and people skateboarding. Is it sweet? Yeah, there's plenty of bands that still do that. And I watch it and I'm like, this song rips and the video's cool. There's cool shots and people are good at skateboarding, and I can never skateboard. So I wish I could. And this is cool. But then there's people that have never done that, and they put, they think outside the box a little bit, and it's arguably better. I mean, if you have a better song, I think there's a lot of things that kind of go into it, but So anyways, yeah, I think there's like this disconnect why people don't listen to your music, or why people don't find and listen to underground music. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like I grew up listening to bands that were signed to major record labels when they were like 19 and stuff, and they had this massive budget behind them, and they're just in my feed because of that, because they had this massive budget, whether it was 20 years ago or they still do. Some of them aren't even on labels anymore. They just do it independently because that's how the music industry has shifted. But as an indie artist, I think there's just that disconnect where you're not relating to your fans. You're trying to uh, just make a bunch of ads or making things you think people want to see instead of just being yourself, worrying about what other people think. And I'm totally guilty of that. I've recently just found that out. And the other thing is basically along the same lines. They're just like, maybe I got to pay for a Spotify playlist or pay for this course so I can learn how to run Facebook ads and Instagram ads, or YouTube ads or whatever to get my music out there. I mean, I've taken those courses. I've learned how to do that stuff. You can make it work. You also need to have that budget. And you can tweak it where, you're getting a view for a fraction of a penny, and 1 out of every 10 people, or 5 out of every 10 people, or 9 out of 10 people, once you really kind of get the algorithm working for you, becomes like a hardcore listener and stuff like that. You can do it that way, but you miss the connection. You know what I mean? That's why I think people aren't listening to the music. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Today, I wanted to talk more on the subject of maybe people aren't listening to your music because you have to be a little more honest with yourself. That don't beat yourself up over it either. I beat myself up over it for years. Tons of people would tell me like I can't sing, my voice sucks, I push too hard when I sing, like, and all of it was from people that, one, I didn't even know, or people I wouldn't take singing lessons from. So that couldn't even sing themselves, like didn't know what they were talking about. And I spent a lot of years learning how to sing, how to sing every single night on a tour and not blow my voice out. It's very easy, just warm up your vocals, by the way. So don't do that to yourself. Don't be like, oh man, because I did that. I was just like, man, have I just been lied to my whole life? Like, people have just been telling me like, Moose, you're really good. You should be on The Voice. That's what I thought people were doing to me at one point. I was like, I was just believing I was a sucker. Just be honest with yourself. Can I sing? If you can play a note on it, you guys probably can't hear that. If you can hear someone play a note on a guitar and you can sing that, you can probably sing. If you can play along with a song on guitar or whatever, you can probably play guitar. I will also say there's always someone better than you. So 1, don't beat yourself up over it. And then 2, try and get better. There's nothing wrong with getting better. But you have to, if it's something you truly want to do, you want to get better at, you want to put out good music, you want to put out, first of all, know what you want to do. You know what I mean? I don't think I have a clear goal on what I want to do. And to be honest, I'm just interested in a lot of things. I want to get better at recording. I want to be a better singer. I want to be better at drums. And I think ultimately, I just want to be a good songwriter. That's what like gets my brain going. But I have to take the necessary steps to do that, to be a good songwriter. I have to break songs down. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I'm an idiot, and I figured things out, and you can too. You're not going to figure out the first time. If you do, great. That's awesome. You won't every time. You just got to keep trying. If you're getting frustrated because you can't figure something out and you failed 100 times, take a break and then come back to it. you might figure it out the 101th time. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of funny. It's been talking for 20 minutes, and I was just like, this is everything I was talking about yesterday. And I like went off on all these different tangents, and I'm like, but I want to talk about this part of it, and it's about getting better. Just try and get better. And I summed that up in like 3 minutes. But I mean, honestly, yes, just try and get better. Do what you can to figure out how to get better. Push your limits. Think outside the box. And there's nothing wrong. Like, I started doing covers, punk rock covers, 8 years ago. I wasn't the first person to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and people even told me, like, when I took bought some of these marketing courses to like figure out how to market my music better. People are like, I mean, it's not really an original idea. I'm like, well, first of all, doing a cover is not an original. Like, that's obvious. I niched it down a little bit and like doing a punk rock version of it. I wasn't the first person to do that either. But what was funny is they were already automatically judging me based off of, I'm just like, dude, I'm already organically getting more views on one video than you have your entire life. And I'm here just trying to better myself and you're giving me your advice. Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, but I'm also the kind of person I like to hear out what everybody has to say, because you just never know. You never know what someone will say that just like triggers something amazing in your brain. You know what I mean? So just try and get better. Be honest with yourself. Practice. Don't beat yourself up. Take a break. And honestly, have fun. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people have this thing of like, they hate their job or whatever, but they really like doing music, and they're like, man, if I could just go viral and be like, the Hawk Tuah girl or something like that, like I won't have to work this stupid job and I can have fun doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it still takes work to do it. You know what I mean? But do you remember the old saying, if you like what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life? Well, make sure you're having fun. There's still going to be things you don't want to do, though. You know what I mean? And just connect with people. I mean, the last job I had was basically a sales job, and never had a sales job before. So how unorganized this company was. I didn't know. They didn't really explain to me that it was a sales job. It's so funny. They told me I was just going to take orders, and I just had to learn the computer system and just put people's orders in when they come in or email me an order. Next thing I know, they want me to like cold call people. Anyways, one thing I learned though from that company was, it's just connecting with everyone. I think just because the way I grew up, like the scenarios I was in and just stuff like that, like I had to grow up pretty fast and be on my own at a very young age. So relying on other people was just never even a thought that crossed my mind. But, I would start to get to know these guys that came in. They're coming in every day, buying a lot of the same equipment. You get to know their hobbies and that they have kids and grandkids and like what they like to do. And, you really have this personal connection, because then, you learn like they're good at what they do. They figure out you're good at what you do. You're a hard worker and stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing with music. If someone likes your music, they're already like automatically connected to you, because people, when they hear music that they like, it's just, and from just speaking from experience, like when I hear a song that just slaps, I just want to listen to it over and over and over and over. And people do that in different ways. So you already have like an automatic in. They already want to talk to you. You know what I mean? And I think, just for me showing that like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure things out. And I'm just a normal dude, like figuring out how I'm going to pay for stuff. Sorry, I got to trim my mustache. It's like tickling my nose. Like I'm always doing these vlogs every morning when I'm like starting my fire. Like that's how I heat my house. I know almost no one personally that heats their house that way anymore. My grandfather did, but he's not with us anymore. So, It's very unconventional. Yeah, it is kind of what would you call it? Just not barbaric, but like not a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of extra work and stuff, but it's like it's free. It cuts that cost for me. I have a little more time than I do money right now, and I haven't had a gas bill for 14 years either. But I forget my point. Dang it. That's what happens when I go off topic. I don't even remember. Shoot. I think I was just trying to say, like, you know, you got to put in the work, do these extra things that you don't like to do to make things work, you know. But it's what I like doing. So even if nothing ever pops off for me, I'm still doing the things that I like. Music, making things like videos, building buildings and stuff like that. It's harder to figure out how to fund those things and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes that's what makes it more creative. So, oh, I remember we were talking about just getting to know other people and all that stuff, you know. Good example of that, actually, I talked about heating my house with wood. I had a friend who's also a musician. His brother or something, I don't know, nephew was like building a house, and they were clearing out some acreage to build their house there, right? He's like, hey, he's just pushing these trees over the hill. He said you can come have them. So I went and got like 4 truckloads of these logs, right? But I had that connection, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I got to split them, but at least I got these logs. I'm halfway there, right, to heating my house next year. And then, you know, I reconnected with a dude I used to work with at 2 jobs ago at the hardware store that I like despised. The job I despised, not the person. And he's like, oh, dude, I have a log splitter. You could borrow it. No big deal. I'm like, so it goes a long way just connecting with people, being yourself. And, you know, and ironically, they were all musicians. So it's probably how we connected to begin with. I don't know. Hopefully that gives you guys some helpful insight. Again, thank you everyone for the support. If anyone's new here and you made it this long, I have a new EP out called Yo Log and Power Chords. It's punk rock versions of Christmas songs, and I put my original on there. That it was for a previous band that just kind of crapped on me about everything, particularly my songwriting. I was the only one. They never contributed to writing the songs, but you know, crapped on me about how I wrote my songs. So I re-recorded it, re-released it. It's been the top streamed track from that EP. So goes to show you too. Don't take people's crap. Do what you want. Do what you like. I was writing what I liked, what I wanted to hear. They didn't want to hear it. They weren't my people. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, thank you for the support. I'm going to keep trying to pump out stuff that I want to see because I've figured out it's stuff that you guys want to see too. And it's what I have fun making. It's what you guys have fun watching and listening to. And keep liking, sharing, commenting, texting. I know some of you guys don't have social media. You just watch YouTube. Text. When I put a video out, text that shit to your friends, bro. Email it. It helps. Drop a like on it. You're watching on your TV. I saw my analytics. A lot of you guys watch this shit on your TV. On my Roku, I just push up. It brings the thing up. And there's the little like button. I just got to push over. Hit like. Please. It helps. Because then the algorithm's like, oh, this person with this profile liked it. And there's other people that are similar to you that watch similar, you know, things to me. And then they show it to those people. It helps. It really does. Because then I get, you know, as I get more views and more consistent stuff like that, companies are like, hey, I'll pay for your bass strings. And it's like, cool. Now I don't have to worry about how to find funding to get new strings to record stuff, you know? And then they'll like, pay me for it. Or, you know, someone said today, like, dude, I would buy your album, but I'm broke. Bro, I'm broke too. I totally get it. I'm trying to get these other big companies to pay for my stuff. Not you guys. You guys are my friends. I mean, if you want to buy it, please, by all means. I appreciate that. People do that stuff for me all the time. They'll go even further and I wish I could support artists I like that, and just, pay a bunch of money for a 6-song EP or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for the support. 30 minutes. Wow, crazy. I will see you tomorrow.